Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to Thornton Farm. This is episode number 12. So we've put out a dozen episodes of this series, and we'll just remind everyone that we started in, well, we basically started in early summer with this series. Did something a little bit different just because, well, with the seasons mod, it does pretty much force us all to, or at least to begin the game, the map. It forces us all to begin that in the early spring. And so I just kind of decided that I wanted to do something a little bit different as far as the series was concerned. And so we began the series in early summer. And so we are in that sixth game day. We are playing 9 game days per season. And so we're moving right along with the progress of getting things done here on the farm. And we've got just maybe one more episode. I think maybe this might be the last episode that we do here on Thornton Farm until we get ready to do some harvesting, because I kind of think that um, we've kind of done so much as far as rinsing and repeating with things, and we're going to kind of repeat something today that we perhaps have already done. We are going to spread a little black gold, a little liquid manure on Lady Felicia's field. That was one of the deals that we made with, or that Mr. Thornton made with her, was that we would go ahead and fertilize that. And of course that works to our advantage as well, because if we obviously take care of her farm, or her that field for her, then she will definitely let us come and cut that grass field at another time, maybe this year or maybe next year. So Billy Bob is actually with us today. Today is his very last day that he will be with us here on Thornton Farm, and then he will be traveling and visiting one other farm in the area. He's going to go down and work with Sir Merman, Reefy 1952, and going to spend, I think, a day with him on his farm, helping him out with some of his operations. And then he's going to be basically heading back to the US of A. And of course, that will probably be a very pleasing sight for those guys to see him back again, because they're going to be very soon getting started with their harvest as well. And so everybody kind of needs to be where they need to be. They need to have completed all their vacations and stuff like that. And of course, that is what we're doing here. We've got Smithy, who is taking a little bit of time off here, as we're more or less caught up with everything that we've got going on. All the seeds are in the ground, all the fields are fertilized, the animals are fat and happy. We've got some hay in the barn. We've got some hay also in this barn here. This is what we store for other farmers that we sell, and so we'll be getting all that delivered where it needs to be, perhaps before winter sets in. And of course, we've got some silage bales down in that field down below that also we have baled, that we will be selling to local farmers, because that's one of the services that we offer. So like I said, Smithy is off, and he is out and about doing some things on in and around the area, taking a few days off. I think maybe he might have went to London to see some of the sites, visit with family and stuff like that. But again, he will be back. Thomas will be taking some time, and also Thomas is going to go down with Billy Bob to Sir Meerman's farm, and working a day. And then Billy Bob's going to be going back. Like I said, he'll come back here, and then he'll catch the train and head on back to London on the train, and then fly back to the USA. So it's been a nice experience having him here and having him share with us some of the different things that they do there, a little different than how we do things over here. And of course, we've been sharing and exposing him to kind of a way of the way that we do things here on this side of the pond. And of course, he will be able to go back and share all that information with both his foreman as well as the others that work there on Snetterton Farm. So it's been great to have him here. So we're going to go ahead and head over. Now we don't own this field, field number 23. That's why we've been very careful about how we drive and how we approach that field. So I think what we will do is, well, let's just go ahead and get started on the opposite side of the field here. We'll go ahead and unfold this guy here. I'll have to try to refresh my memory and see if I remember how to use this this sprayer. I've only used it one time, and that was several episodes ago. Let's see, this is episode number 12. I forget when we did some slurry spraying, but we did that. And let's just go ahead and get things fired up and get moving along. All right, spraying, or I should say injecting that black gold. We are injecting the liquid slurry directly into the soil. That's what this apparatus does. And this, of course, helps to prevent, the slurry or the manure from getting into places that it doesn't have any business getting into, like, for example, the streams and rivers and stuff in the area. We're basically injecting it where it needs to go, into the soil. And of course, our weather forecast is wonderful today. We shouldn't have any problems at all with rain or anything like that. Actually, we could use a little bit of the moisture that we're getting from the liquid slurry, from the black gold, and that's going to help things out because it has been kind of dry and warm here in recent days. Of course, 54 degree soil temperature. You might think I'm lying to you, but well, it's just a little cool, I guess, with the Seasons mod and Farm Sim 17, unless you're playing with a specific geo installed. And we don't have, just kind of getting out of character here, we don't have a specific geo installed for this particular map. I will tell you though, again, kind of staying out of character here and talking a little bit about some of the things that are going on in the Farm Sim world. I've been quite impressed with a number of a few maps that have come out recently that are coming out equipped for Seasons mod. That's a good thing. We sort of predicted that would happen. But then also map modders are also going ahead and building in their own geos, their own weather geos and everything to go along with the maps, and that's cool as well. As a matter of fact, our good friend Farmer Klein has just started a new series. I think it's called Midtown. It's a Midtown map, and I actually quite like that map quite a bit. He is starting that up, and he's kind of doing it in the same fashion that I did with this map, where he is bringing his viewers into episode number 1 on the last game day of spring, so very late spring. I think he's playing 15 game days or something like that, and so he's doing the same thing that kind of we did, and he's talking a little bit about and showing some of the weather temperatures, and he's getting like some 90-degree temperatures, and that is certainly typical of Midwest farming, Midwest U.S. farming, and of course that is where that map more or less originates from, in the Midwest, or at least that's how he's playing it. So really cool map. I like a lot of the features with it. I think that map developers are certainly pulling out all the stops and getting making their maps be something that is so cool to play and so cool to experience, and I think it's just fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and bring this up. We do need to fold her up. We're going to go ahead and top it up while we're here, because I don't think we would get too far down the path there before we would have to refuel, but we've made almost 1.5 revolutions around the track. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, wonderful morning, wherever it might be, whatever time it might be that you're watching this episode. And just got to say that it has just been so glad to be back in the saddle, kind of back into the mix of things. I've really enjoyed the last week and a half or so filming or recording episodes, I should say. I think what we'll do is we'll do our up and downs, and we'll start on this side of the field here and see if we can get this done in good fashion. Anyway, so what all has been going on in your world? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear that. Are you ready for Christmas? You guys are going to be watching this episode, or you should see this episode before Christmas. I don't have any plans to certainly delay it, and I've got all my Christmas shopping done. I think I did talk a little bit about that in the last Snetterton video, so I won't go into a whole lot of detail because I know that most of you guys watch both of my series, and I appreciate that wholeheartedly. I will just say that one of the comments that I made in that video was the fact that I do very, very much try not to visit the mall this time of year, and I'm very proud to say that pretty much I was able to avoid the mall. I try to avoid the mall at all costs during the Christmas season, and of course my wife and I are Amazon Prime members, and so we have pretty much free shipping on most things that we order from Amazon, and of course we've got some streaming media, some streaming television packages through Amazon that we get as a benefit to being Prime members. So that's really the main reason, but we certainly get our money's worth by ordering most of our Christmas presents and other stuff from Amazon, because let's face it, Amazon has everything that you could imagine, and even more so. So talk a little bit about episodes, because I wanted to share one thing with you all. The lost episodes that I posted a few weeks back, as I was bringing the channel back to life, you guys saw some episodes that I had actually recorded back in the late September and very early October time frame. And you might be wondering, well, how did I lose those episodes? Was I just playing on words by calling them episodes? Because oftentimes we'll see, something on television that will, like a lost Andy Griffith episode, or a lost Gunsmoke episode, or lost at whatever. Actually, what happens is in my production process, and basically my gaming machine, my gaming PC is actually downstairs in my office in my basement, and so when I record an episode, I actually typically take that episode off of the gaming hard drive. I basically record to a hard drive on my gaming machine. I then transfer that video file over to a portable hard drive. And so what had happened was, and this is kind of funny because for probably about 5 or 6 weeks, that hard drive was lost to me. I could not find it anywhere in the house. And typically what I would do is after I record an episode, like I said, I usually save it to this hard drive, and I take the hard drive usually upstairs, and I will transfer it over to a laptop that I have that I kind of use to do some video edits and stuff like that. And I guess I put the hard drive down on my recliner, and somehow or another it fell, not just in between the cushions, but it fell in such a way that I really couldn't see it. I even turned the chair upside down because my gut was telling me I think it's either someplace maybe in the chair, or I've got this magazine basket that sits next to the chair, and I just couldn't find it. I couldn't find it for love or money. And so a few weeks ago, I was sitting on the other side of the room from where I normally sit, and I see this USB cable sticking out from the chair, and I'm like, okay, well, that's not supposed to be there. And no, I didn't think it was some kind of new functionality of the chair, like it was USB powered or something. But anyway, I decided to take a look at that USB cable, thinking, well, maybe it was just a charging cable from my phone or something like that. And lo and behold, the other end, when I followed it, it led me to the hard drive. And of course, I had to take quite a bit of effort to get the hard drive out of there, because it had worked its way down into the inner workings of the chair itself, and only the little USB cable was poking out there. So it was quite hilarious, and my wife and I had quite a chuckle of it, because I sort of was almost tearing the house apart looking for it. And that is not, well, I suppose that losing the hard drive, and of course this kind of happened I think I lost the hard drive before we went on vacation, or at least that's when it disappeared in the chair. And then it was after we got back from vacation, so after the 4th of October time frame, was when I began looking for the hard drive, because I was wanting to go ahead and put those episodes out there, and I was still going to be taking a bit of a hiatus between recordings and everything, but at least I would have had something out there. But because I couldn't find those episodes, I had nothing to basically upload, and so and a little bit of that was what maybe contributed also to the fact that I didn't want to record anything necessarily, because I didn't have time, but B, I was missing that drive. So. But I was speaking with Eustace Farmer just the other day. He and I occasionally speak on the telephone, and I quite enjoy our conversations. And I was telling him, and of course he has just been on a family vacation of his own, and so hopefully he'll be putting content out very, very soon on his channel. But anyway, I was speaking with him, and I'm like, between the hiatus, between the work schedule, between the vacation schedule, between the break that my wife and I took going down to for Thanksgiving, I said I actually got to a point to where that I was missing playing these games. I was missing the interaction that I have with each and every one of you, my viewers, my fans, and how we sometimes interact either on Discord or through the comments of YouTube, etc. And so it was time. I was ready to come back, and I think that that's kind of what I needed to do as well, was just get to a point to where that I well and truly missed the interaction. I missed playing the games, and like I said, I missed the interaction with you all, because I could play these games and I could have fun just doing that, and oftentimes that is what I do. I mean, I play a lot of other games that I don't put on the channel, but I could also very well play Farm Sim without necessarily putting this on the channel as well. But I do miss that interaction, because I enjoy hearing about what you guys are doing on your virtual farms. And so I will just say that, I would remind you all, or encourage you all, that if you're not a member of my Discord server, that you would come on over and take advantage of that, hang out with us, and of course hang out with us on over at the Three Dudes Gaming Network, and of course PCSG. All right, so we're going to go ahead and head on back to the main farm. It is, well, I tell you what, we could do, no, I will do that off camera, because you guys have seen a couple of episodes of me spreading liquid manure, and that's probably enough. That's probably more of the black gold work than what you care to see. So I think what I will do is I'll head over to back over to the main farm. We'll get this parked up. We'll probably go ahead and close this episode out. In this episode, I need to spend a little bit of time on doing some off-camera work, both on this map as well as on Snetterton Farm. I will just update you all and just say that with Snetterton Farm, we are pretty much done with summer, at least what I'm going to record. So I'm going to be playing each of the remaining game days. I think we're like in the 14th or 15th game day of summer, so I'm going to play the other 9 or 10 game days, whatever we have left, most likely off camera, get those done, and keep the animals fed, try to keep the compost stuff going, keep the greenhouses going, that sort of stuff. And then we're going to be getting ready to get into fall on that map pretty soon. And there might be like one more game day that I'll do just before we actually break out the harvesters, but I think we're getting pretty close. And I will apologize, because when I was doing when I was running dual maps before, like with Lawfolds and some of the others, I was pretty much let me try to get this lined up a little bit better. I was trying to keep our seasons at opposite ends of each other. So in other words, if we were harvesting on one map, we would pretty much be, planting and stuff on the other. That way things were truly, well and truly kind of separated as best as possible. But it's probably going to end up being where both of these series are going to find us harvesting pretty soon. Of course, the harvest may go a little longer on Snetterton than obviously it will on this map. I think Snetterton, we're like at episode 23, so we're like more than double on that. So we will just have to kind of do the best that we can with kind of what we've got. And I think I'm going to go ahead and run up the hill right quick, just as I'm basically saying thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate you tuning in and watching our episodes here. I do have a question, though, I will ask, and I did post this over on the Three Dudes Gaming Network. Farmer Klein mentioned this in one of his videos recently, and also I had somebody post about this, a question on one of the Thornton Farm videos, asking me the question on how to do it, and I didn't know. I assumed that it was probably through Giant's editor that it needed to be done, but he was sort of complaining, this, not Farmer Klein, but this a viewer of the channel, and I'm sorry I don't have the comments pulled up in front of me, but he was talking about how much excessive the mud is on this map, and I agree. I think that this is, even though this is kind of cool to see, it is a bit excessive, and it's very difficult, especially to get through this gate right over here. That is very difficult to get through. The mud just makes the tractor twist and turn and causes all kind of problems. And anyway, Farmer Klein in his video that I watched today actually made mention or talked a little bit about the possibility of essentially removing the mud from the map, or at least toning it down some. So I'm not sure how that would be done. If anyone has any thoughts or ideas, let me know in the comments. It's possible that by the time that you guys watch this video, I will already know the answer, because maybe Farmer Klein will go and leave the feedback and everything on the Three Dudes Gaming Network forum. So if you are the person that asked specifically about that, I would perhaps encourage you to go over to the Three Dudes Gaming Network and check out that thread that I posted the question in with regards to the mud, and see if we can get some information from Farmer Klein. It may also be exaggerated just a little bit because of the ground response mod, and to be honest, I haven't thought about potentially removing that mod to see if the mud behaves a little bit different. And I don't know if the person that asked the question, if you're also using the ground response mod, you might try that and compare notes and post over on the Three Dudes Gaming Network and let us know. Anyway, I know this is a short episode. It's going to be about 22 minutes, 23 minutes, something like that. But I do appreciate you watching, and we will get all the equipment back to the main farm. And of course, we will be saying our goodbyes to Billy Bob, and he'll be heading back over to the US. And then we're going to be maybe together for one more episode before we start harvesting, but definitely we will be harvesting very, very soon, in very soon, or short fashion. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And I will speak to you all very, very soon, either here on Thornton Farm or over on Snetterton Farm. Take care now, and I'll speak to you all soon. God bless you. Bye-bye.